this video, we will explore 3D modeling with Salome software, and we will cover tools like extrusion, revolution, filling, extrusion along path, restore path, and thickness from the geometry module. To select these tools, from the main menu bar, select New Entity, and from this drop-down menu bar, select Generation, and you can see a new submenu is open. So from here you can select the specific tool, and you can also select these tools from the generation toolbar, and clicking on any of these tools will prompt you a dialog box where you can edit. So here I will select the first tool, extrusion, from the toolbar, and we have three algorithms to create extrusion, and here I have selected the first algorithm, and we need to select a base and vector and set height to extrude. So for the base I will select this sketch. So here I wanted to extrude this sketch, and for the vector I will select the object from the object browser. So you can see with the distance height of 100, this sketch is extruded in the object direction. You can select the vector from view also if you want. And here I will activate this thickness. So if I activate this, we can add thickness to these edges. So with the thickness of 10, you can see that this thickness added to this object. Now I'll change the thickness to 30 and click the apply button. So now here I have activated the option thickness towards the inside, which thickens the object inside, and click the apply and close button. So this is how it looks. So now for the base I will select this face because I want to extrude this face. Before I have selected the sketch wire for extrusion. Now I have selected this face, and for the vector I will select object, and you can see with the height of 100 the face is extruded. Now I will activate the option reverse, and you can see that this object place is transferred in the opposite direction, and click the apply and close button to save the changes. In this case I will select the second algorithm, and you can extrude by selecting point 1 and point 2 in this case. Let's see. So here for the base I will select this edge. So in this case I want to extrude edge. So for that I will select this edge from the view, and for the point 1 I will select this edge vertex itself, and for the point 2 I will select this edge vertex from the view. You can select vertex from object browser as well. So you can see that this is the first point I have selected, and this is the second point, and based on that the selected edge is extruded up to here. Now click the apply and close button to save the changes. And now I'll select the third algorithm, and In the third algorithm, we need to select a base and set distance in the x, y and z coordinates. So for that, I'll select this vertex because I want to extrude this vertex, and I'll extrude in the x direction. So for that, I'll change the dx direction to 60, and I will activate the option both direction, and you can see in both the directions the vertex is extruded, and click this apply and close button to save the changes. And from the selected vertex, our new edge is created. Now I'll select the second tool, revolution, and to revolve we need to select object, axis and set angle for that. So for the object, I will select vertex, and for the axis I'll select away from the object browser, and by default with an angle of 45 you can see that the vertex is revolved, and here I will change the angle to 360, and you can see that with an angle of 360 the vertex is revolved. Now click the apply and close button to save the changes. So you can see that here I have selected the vertex, and based on the vertex the object is revolved. In this case I will select this edge to revolve, and for the axis I will select OY from the object browser, and by default with an angle of 45 the edge is revolved. Now here I will select the option both directions, and you can see that the edge is revolved in both directions with an angle of 45. Now click the apply and close button to save the changes. In this case, I will select this face to revolve, and for the axis I will select OX, and you can see that this object is revolved with an angle of 45 by default. Now I will click on this option reverse, and this will change the direction, and now I'll set the angle to 360, and you can see that this face is revolving. Now click the apply button to save the changes. And this is how the revolution looks like. Now I'll select the third tool, filling, and to create a filling I will select these edges from the view, and you can see I have selected the 6 edges, and filling is automatically created for the selected objects in between. Now click the apply and close button to save the changes, and you can see that this is a new surface created. Now in this case what I have done was I have selected the vertices to create filling as input contours, and click this apply button. So it prompts a dialog box like we need to create, if we want to create filling we need to select only edges or wires, so we can't select faces or vertices. So here I will select the fourth tool, extrusion along path, and we have 3 algorithms to extrude a pipe. So here I have selected the first one, and in the first algorithm we can extrude by selecting base object and path object. And for the base object I will select this edge, and for the path object I will select this line, and based on the selected path object this base object will be extruded. So you can see that this is the base object and it is extruded along the selected path object. Now I will select generate groups. So here I wanted to create groups for this pipe, and we can also set a name for that. So for that I will set the name is pipe and click the apply and close button. And you can see this is the pipe created, and if I click on this you can see that groups were created for this pipe, and if I click on it you can see that groups were created accordingly for pipe down, up, side 1 and side 2. So now I will select the second algorithm. In the second algorithm, we need to select a base object, and this will be the base. And for the path object, I have selected this word like edge. And in this case, we need to select binormal also. So you can select the binormal from the view or from the object browser. So you can see I will select the vector from the origin, and I will select OY vector, and you can see that based on the selected path object the base object is extruded. Now click the apply and close button to save the changes. So before I have selected only the edge, so you can see only the edge is extruded, but in this case I have selected the face and you can see the whole face shape is extruded. Now I'll select the third algorithm, and in this we need to select locations also. Locations will be the vertices. So for the base object I will select these three circular edges, and for the locations I will select these three vertices, and for the path object I will select this edge, and you can see based on the selected locations and base object the pipe is constructed. Now I will select with connection, and you can see the pipe is constructed, and if I select with contact you can see the pipe is created with contact to the locations and path object. Now click the apply and close button to save the changes, and this is the pipe created. And the next one is restore path, and we need to select a shell or a solid to create a restore path, and for that I will select this object from the view. So now I will select the first base, and for that I can't select the edges. So here I will activate select unpublished edges. So clicking on it will be selected. By holding shift key I will select these 4 edges for the first base, And similarly for the last face in the opposite direction, I will select these 4 edges and click this apply and close button, and you can see that a path is created between the selected face edges. So if I check transparent view, you can see the restored part is created. And the last tool is thickness, and we have 2 algorithms to create a thickness, and in the first algorithm we can add thickness by specifying a thickness distance for the selected object. So here I will select this shell, and you can see by default with the thickness of 10, the thickness is applied to the selected object. So I will change the thickness distance to 100, and you can see the thickness is added at the distance of 100. Click the apply and close button to save the changes. Now in this case I will select algorithm 2, and we need to select object and faces, and thickness will be applied to the selected faces. So here I will select this box as the object, and for the faces I will select this front face, and you can see that a thickness is added with a distance of 30. Now click the apply button, so you can see this is the thickness, and this will be the transparent view. Now in this case I will select the option thicken towards the inside, and this is how it looks like. And this is the end of the video, and thanks for watching.